Good morning, Syracuse. Really? Good morning, Syracuse. Good morning. And welcome to your Central New York Film Hub. And the key word here is hub. Because today is about how Governor Andrew Cuomo's innovation-driven economic development model builds high-tech clusters and high-paying jobs across upstate cities. And today, it's about Syracuse. Syracuse doesn't get an applause. I'd like to start by recognizing some of the elected officials who are today with us. Senator David Valetsky, please hold your applause until I go to the whole list. Assemblymember William Magnarelli, Assemblymember William McGee, Assemblymember Gary Finch, Onondaga County Executive Joni Mahoney, Chair of the Onondaga County Legislature Ryan McMahon, Chair of the Madison County Board of Supervisors John Becker, Syracuse Common Council President Van Robinson, Town of DeWitt Supervisor Ed Mikalenko, and numerous other county legislatures, town supervisors, and mayors. Join me in welcoming them, please. Today is another example of a public-private partnership between the state, academia, and industry, which is the key ingredient to the success of the New York model. It is a smart, diversified, and proven model of leveraging investments to ignite the economy in upstate communities. It's an area where New York excels, including here in Syracuse, where the governor has partnered with the county exec Joni Mahoney and the elected officials to deliver the economy of the 21st century. First, with the creation of the most advanced movie-making hub in the world. You're in the middle of it. And now with the attraction of SORAA, the industry leader in ultra-high performance lighting and LED technologies, which will relocate its global manufacturing and research and development operations from California to the facility that is currently under construction right here in Collamer Crossing. This will create initially over 400 new, good-paying, high-tech jobs in the region. That deserves another applause. And it will build on the recent research and workforce training collaboration recently announced between SUNY Poly students and faculty and Le Moyne students and faculty. I guess there's someone here from Le Moyne, I'm guessing. Stay tuned for more announcements related to that. And importantly, with the film hub and the entertainment industry, where this cutting-edge lighting technology can be adapted for production purposes, a win-win-win for our tenants, and why Syracuse and this hub were truly a natural fit for SORAA. We talk often about the governor's incredible economic development and job creation track record, his public-private partnerships, and innovation-driven strategy. SORAA is an excellent example of the resounding success of his model. Why? Because SORAA was initially slated for Buffalo. However, the governor's green energy hub at Riverbend was so effective and attractive to business that the anchor tenant Solar City doubled down, constructing the largest solar factory in North America, about 5 times the original size. The site simply ran out of room for SORAA. So the governor worked closely with the company, County Exec Mahoney, and SUNY Poly to identify a location that met its needs, was fiscally smart, and adhered to the governor's innovation hub model. Guess where that location is? Syracuse, New York. So as the governor says, this is a great situation for New York. When companies see what this state is capable of, what the workforce is capable of, They want a deeper investment and bigger projects. It's happening in Albany and Utica too. And guess what? It's starting to happen also in Syracuse, as the governor promised you. And it's because of the governor's leadership and his ability to attract dynamic, great companies like SORAA. Nothing? And now it's my pleasure to introduce the President and CEO of Empire State Development, Howard Zemsky. As you know, Howard was tapped by the governor to lead, prior to taking on the job, to lead the Regional Economic Development Council in Buffalo, where he also led the part of creating and implementing the Buffalo Billion. So he knows what he's doing. And what impresses me the most about him is the fact that he's the only guy I know who answers a call from the governor in his robe, going up and down the aisles at a food store. So please welcome Howard Zemsky.
Oh, you can't believe everything Dr. K said. Good morning, everyone. Great to be here. I'm proud to be your upstate cousin from beautiful Buffalo, New York, where it's sunny and 75 today. It is great to be part of the upstate upswing, and it is so welcome, and we've been waiting for it for so long. I know exactly how you feel. It has been an amazing change in upstate, and I want to just put it in a context, because I've been involved with this governor for about 5 years. The regional, decentralized, strategic, collaborative process is making change across the state. We are no longer on the sidelines as spectators in economic development. We are in the game regionally. You are the quarterbacks of your economic future, and I think it's worth noting that through this regional process, Central New York, among 10 regions in the state, has won and earned and deployed successfully the most money, over $320 million, of any region in the state. And what's great about it is that it's a holistic approach to economic development. It's business attraction, but it's not just business attraction. It's downtown revitalization, and it's waterfront activation, and it's workforce development, and it's global export, and it's sustainability. It's holistic, and it is working here in Central New York. I am very, very pleased with the progress and partnership that we have with Dr. Caballeros and SUNY Poly. And so whether you're talking about the next generation of solar production in Buffalo, or photonics in Rochester, or chip fab in Albany, or clean energy, ultra high performance LED lighting here in Syracuse, we are focused on the next generation economy now in New York. And that story is resonating with people across the state. And believe me, as someone who heads economic development, it's resonating with people finally across the country that New York State represents the next generation jobs and industry right here in Syracuse. All right. So with that, I do want to thank the governor. I want to say, for the first time, as you know, as someone who has lived upstate for 35 years, I know what it's like to face headwinds. For the first time in so long, we finally have the tailwinds. We have the support, the dedication, the relentless focus of this governor to take the upstate economy off of its back and put it on its feet which we've seen in Buffalo and we're seeing across upstate, thanks to the governor and thanks to all of you for making it happen and investing in Central New York's and Syracuse's future. So with that, I am going to introduce the CEO. It's a very important person in the room today, the CEO of SORAA, this country's most innovative LED lighting company in the country, Mr. Jeff Parker.
Thank you, and it's great to be here. Hey, I'm very excited to be here today on behalf of SORAA and with the governor and for this announcement. I'm very appreciative to all the hard work that you, your staff, and administration have done to make this opportunity possible. I also want to thank SUNY Poly and Dr. Caballeros for their assistance, support, help in getting us where we are today and kicking this off. On a personal note, I was born, grew up, went to school, started my first tech company in the Northeast. And I'm very, very happy to get back here and looking forward to spending some time here. So thank you. So let me tell you a little bit about SORAA. SORAA is an LED lighting company that is making products based on GaN-on-GaN silicon chip. It's a very unique proprietary silicon chip. The company was formed in 2007 by a group of professors led by Suji Nakamura. And some of you might have heard of Suji Nakamura. He won the Nobel Prize for Physics last year. And he won the Nobel Prize for the development of a blue LED. And the blue LED, when combined with phosphor, gives us the white LEDs you see today. And what this is doing, what that enables you is to produce a white LED that uses only 20% of the power of known sources today, like incandescents, halogens. So this is really driving a clean energy revolution. This is driving a once-in-a-lifetime change in the industry. All lights are going to LED across the board. Later, in the mid-2000s, Suji and his group of scientists developed a better LED. And it's a unique technology where we use GaN-on-GaN, and we were able to produce a semiconductor chip that's smaller, brighter, and more efficient than anything out there. So this is a next generation of LED developed by the father of LEDs. And this is how SORAA was formed, along with investment from Vinod Khosla. You know, this new LED is not only brighter, but it's also full spectrum. And it's full spectrum healthy light, so it simulates sunlight. So it gives you vibrant colors, better whites. So when you go to put on your clothes in the morning, or if you go buy furniture or something, you don't have to go to the window to see what it looks like. Light should be full spectrum and should look like sunlight and should be healthy. And that's what SORAA brings to the market. So it's a brighter, more efficient, lower cost, healthy, full spectrum light. And all our products are based on that. Why are we in Syracuse today? A lot of people have asked me that. You know, and there's three reasons. You know, one is the innovative strategy and vision of Governor Cuomo to set up these surroundings that can really help our company and help us grow and innovate. Number two is we believe this area we can attract the best and brightest scientists and engineers, and we're really looking forward to doing that. And number three is we have a proprietary high-tech product, and we really need to control the quality, we need to control our IP, we need to produce the best product in the world, and we believe our partnership with SUNY Poly will help that, and they've already been helping us through that partnership. With our investment in R&D and manufacturing in Syracuse, you know, we expect to expand our capacity, speed up our product innovation, And our presence here, we believe, will facilitate job growth of over 300 and some jobs in the next few years. So we're really looking forward to that. At this time, I'd like to show a short video. It talks about a little bit about SORAA, a little bit about the transition, and a little bit about how New York has helped us.
Upstate's economy is growing once again as a California company gets ready to move its global operations to New York's state of opportunity. Because of Governor Cuomo's focus on innovative green energy technology and economic development, California-based SORAA is making central New York's future even brighter. SORAA is building its LED manufacturing facility at the Collimer Crossings Business Park in DeWitt. Once completed, SORAA's new facility will create 420 new high-tech research, design, and manufacturing jobs in the region. Today's edition of SORAA to the SUNY Polytechnic Central New York Hub for Emerging Nano Industries is part of the governor's commitment to making a great high-tech corridor that spans across upstate New York. New York's investment of $90 million to build and equip the 82,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility will leverage at least $1.3 billion in private sector investments in the project. SORAA has taken ordinary lighting and turned it into a product that is extraordinarily brilliant and efficient. Its revolutionary products are used all over the world. For example, in museums to showcase amazing pieces of art or displays, or in hotels where SORAA lighting welcomes guests with a warm and inviting atmosphere. And now, New York welcomes SORAA and their commitment to building in New York, because in the end, it's all about creating jobs for New Yorkers, growing our economy, saving energy, and our changing global climate. And when construction is done at the end of this year, New York State and SORAA will turn on the lights, and together, we will get to work.
Yeah, on behalf of SORAA, I once again would like to thank Governor Cuomo, SUNY Poly, and everyone else that's made this possible. I'd also like to thank the governor for his vision and setting up the strategic partnerships and technology and everything else in this area that really made it an easy decision to come to Syracuse. So thank you once again. Now it is my esteemed pleasure to introduce the governor of the great state of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It is truly my pleasure to be back in Syracuse today, to be in DeWitt. Actually, I'm not here for this economic development announcement. I'm here for the Film Hub. I have an idea for a movie that I'm here to film today. And it's a little novel, but I can see a reality series, like a hybrid. Governor of New York meets Orange County Chopper, meets Fast and Loud, meets the Survivor series in the context of the Dirty Jobs show. You know, if you put all that together, there's a winner in there. And we're going to start shooting today. That's why we built this Film Hub, so it all comes together. Actually, it's a pleasure to be in this Film Hub. This is something we spoke about in March 2014. We announced this idea and this plan just a couple of years ago, and we're here today. It's working, it's filming, it's employing people, it's already done a movie, it's planning to do its second movie. So these are not just ideas and plans we announce. These happen, they happen quickly, they're implemented, and they make a real difference in people's lives, and that's why it's so appropriate to be here today. Let's give the Film Hub a round of applause and all those who worked to make it a reality. To Mr. Parker, welcome to Central New York. We welcome you here. We welcome you to New York. We're glad you're bringing your business here, and you won't be disappointed. Let's give him a warm Central New York welcome. To Howard Zemsky, who is working night and day. He's working harder in the public sector than he ever did in the private sector. He's focused like a laser beam on doing one thing, which is bringing jobs to upstate New York, and he's doing a great job. Commissioner Zemsky. Dr. Calleros, who really has been the father of this entire nano-economic vision for the state of New York. This vision was right. He has been on it for 20 years. He saw it before anyone else did. And he has brought single-handedly a world-class industry to the state of New York that is reaping more and more and more dividends, and this state owes him a tremendous debt of obligation. Dr. Calleros. We then have all these great ideas, and we give them to your county executive to implement. So she has to do the hard work and the heavy lifting, but she gets it done because she's all about competence and capacity, and she gets that government is supposed to deliver. It's not about talking, it's not about articulating, it's about bringing people together to get things done, and that's what she's all about. County Executive Joni Mahoney. To all the other elected officials and to my colleagues who are here, Gary Finch, Bill McGee, Bill Magnorelli, and Senator Dave Valesky, I hope the money basically comes from allocations in the legislature, and they are my partner in government, and they are always a pleasant and warm and fuzzy and willing partner of the legislature, or at least this delegation. But I hope they noticed a little mention that Central New York has actually won the most money, $320 million, from the economic development competitions. And the story today is really the continuation of the story and the vision that we have been talking about for a couple of years now. We said that upstate New York had gone through a period of terrible decline. And what bothered me most when I was in upstate New York was all the discussion, all the talk was about the history, about what was. And all the discussion was the good old days, and what Buffalo was, and what Rochester was, and what Syracuse was, and remember when Carrier was here, remember Lockheed. It was 40 years of yesterdays, and no discussion of tomorrow, and no vision of tomorrow, and no vision of where we're going. Recalling yesterday is nice. Planning and building for tomorrow is better and more productive. And that's what we said the challenge was for upstate New York. And we said basically there were 3 steps we went through. First step was to acknowledge the problem. You'll never solve a problem you're unwilling to admit. Acknowledge the problem, acknowledge that we had to do something about it, acknowledge how we got there. And part of the way we got there was that the state government was not attentive to the needs of upstate New York. I say that as the governor of New York State. It doesn't make me proud or happy, but that is true. The government in Albany was very focused on downstate. Majority of the legislators come from downstate. We love downstate, but we love upstate too. And the state of New York was not being attentive. Number 2, a lot of what the state was doing was actually counterproductive. Why? Because it was raising taxes, raising taxes, raising taxes. And people are mobile and businesses are mobile and they're smart. You keep raising taxes and people will leave. And you become the highest tax state in the nation. And you know what? Young people leave. And that's what happened in upstate New York. How many families will tell you about their child, their son, their daughter, who moved away to find a job in another state, and they wish they were here, but the state virtually chased them from upstate New York with the taxation policies. So we had to reverse that, and we did. We have brought down the increase in state spending to the lowest level in modern political history. Just think about that. Every year, the state government spent about 5 or 6% more and raised taxes 5 or 6% more. Every year. For the first time in 50 years, we've gotten state spending under control, where it has now been under 2% for the past 5 years. Because we could reduce spending, we could then reduce taxes. And we reduced taxes for every New Yorker over the past 4 years in every income bracket. You reduce taxes, you make the government more efficient, you see the private sector flourish. Today in this state, we have more private sector jobs than we ever have had in history, period. That's how well this state is doing. And then we went one step forward, which we said, first step is for government to remove the obstacles. We did that. That's what reducing taxes was all about. That's what changing our attitude was all about. We're not anti-business. We want to facilitate business. We want to cut regulations. We want to work with business to grow. But then we took it another step forward with a concept we called entrepreneurial government. Entrepreneurial government. Now think about those two words. Most people would think that's an oxymoron, entrepreneurial government. How can government be entrepreneurial? Government is usually the opposite. No, not today. Smart government should be entrepreneurial. A smart government for today should be working with the private sector, reaching out to businessmen saying, how can I help you grow? What do you need? How do I make your business do better? Because if your business does better, you create more jobs, I have more opportunity, more people are working, more people are paying taxes, they're buying homes, they're buying gasoline, they're buying food. How does government partner with businesses to affirmatively help and invest businesses grow? And we then determined a segment of the market that we believe is going to be the future. And it puts two pieces together, nanotechnology, which is chip development, reduced size chips, which has been a proven success for 20 years with Dr. Calleros, and the area of clean energy, because that is the future. Because if this country is going to survive, if this planet is going to survive, we have to do more and more in terms of clean energy. And this state can be our own best customer because we have to reduce our fossil fuels and save energy in this state. So we took that cluster of businesses in the economy, nano clean energy, and we said, entrepreneurially, let's grow and invest in those areas. And it is working all across the state. You go to Buffalo, largest solar panel manufacturer in the Western Hemisphere, at Riverbend, largest solar manufacturer in the Western Hemisphere. You go to Utica, we're bringing GE back to Utica, New York, which is the same place they left decades ago when they moved to another state that shall be named, and now they're coming back to Utica where they left. It's photonics in Rochester, right? It's nano in the Capital District. And this cluster then feeds on itself, because that's how the private sector economy works. You get to a critical mass, and businesses start to attract businesses in the same area. It's what made Detroit for so many years the auto manufacturing hub, because if you have the factory, then you have the suppliers, then you have the supply chain. And that's what SORAA is all about. The state-of-the-art LED lighting, literally off the innovation that won the Nobel Prize, perfecting LED as a clean source of lighting that actually does its job and saves energy at the same time, and they have the best technology. And they want to be here, first, because New York is the best place to be. Number two, because we have developed this cluster of energy, clean energy, high-tech nano businesses, and this is the state that has the future for those businesses. SORAA is a $1.3 billion enterprise, 420 jobs, and that's what this is all about, my friend. It's about creating jobs for the future so our young people stay, making linkages with our higher education facilities, so we're training them with the skills that will transfer to the businesses that we brought here of tomorrow, right? That's what Silicon Valley was all about. They had Stanford University creating these young minds, and they stayed in the area, and they developed the companies of tomorrow. That's what we're doing in New York. And that's what we're doing in upstate New York. And it is happening, and it is happening quickly, and it is building on itself. And you feel a change in energy, and you feel a change in the business environment all across the state. We just have to keep it going. We just have to keep it going. And so much of the challenge today with government is just make it happen. And you have this big bureaucracy called government with 100 loops that you have to get through. And it's not enough to have a good idea. You have to have a good idea, and then you have to get it done, which means you have to get it through that whole process. You have to get it through the state legislature, which is always simple and easy and an expeditious process. You then have to get it through the county legislature with Ryan McMahon, which is also a very easy, expeditious process. And then you have to get the permit, and then you have to get it built, but you have to make it happen. And that's what a lot of our success has been about in New York, because it was a state government that nothing happened, where good ideas went to die. That's what they used to say about Albany. Now, you give us the germ of a good idea. We will nurture it, we will grow it until it blooms, and then we will make it happen. The next person who I have the pleasure of introducing is spectacular in that regard of making things happen. And that is the bottom line of successful regions, regions with a future, regions that are coming back. And this is a really talented and gifted partner for us. Give a big welcome to County Executive Joni Mahoney.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Governor Cuomo, and thank you to your whole team for being here. This is just a wonderful day for us. I'm looking at Howard Zemsky, who has become a friend, and it's really great to have somebody who has lived it the way you have lived it, and you so eloquently describe the psyche in Buffalo, and we have had that here as well. And to have you roll up your sleeves and help put a deal like this together, I will be forever grateful. I met Dr. K, I want to say Kelly-Aros, but he always corrects me, right? Dr. K. I met Dr. K when he came to Onondaga County at my State of the County address in March of 2014 to say that we were going to build this facility. And in very short order, he has it done, he has it operating, he has it creating jobs. And I said then, and Governor Cuomo's father really saw the potential and germinated, as to take his metaphor, that idea of nanotechnology, and it is paying off for this entire state, but nowhere more than upstate New York and now central New York. Thank you, Dr. K, for focusing here on us. And I'm thrilled to meet. I was here at this film hub. The Syracuse International Film Festival was here, and I had the opportunity to be here and to listen. There were young people here and excited about what's happening. So to Governor Cuomo's point about this being about the future, it was great for me, not only as county executive, but as a parent, to see the enthusiasm of young people about what's happening here in Central New York. And I've heard myself those stories people tell about their family having moved away, and we are stopping that. We are making the opportunity for young people right here in Central New York. And it was wonderful to be here and hear their comments. And we've already had a film that has been filmed here out of this facility. You all saw in the paper The American Dresser. The film house did. They did it here, and I had the opportunity to talk to those filmmakers, the director, the actors, the producers, and they say this is the premier facility in the United States for making films. When you combine that with what the governor has done in making this an affordable place to make films, we have this excitement going on with the filmmaking industry here in Central New York. And now we have SORAA. And Jeff, welcome back to the Northeast. These are the jobs of the future. Governor Cuomo takes very smart people, Nobel Prize winners in physics companies, and he connects them with our institutes of higher education. SUNY Poly, what is happening at SUNY Poly is unprecedented. And now we know, we just heard, stay tuned, Lemoyne College is up next, and we will hear about those partnerships between smart people, institutes of higher ed, our talented workforce, the engineers and scientists that are going to come to work here, and then government understanding what its role is in just making it possible for these good ideas to grow here by doing things like reducing taxes. I have a budget that I just got passed through our county legislature that has $9 million in lowered state mandates. That has not happened before Governor Cuomo got here. It was always growing, and those costs were always passed on to us here locally. And now government gets it, and I'm very lucky to be county executive at a time when Governor Andrew Cuomo is here, and he brings this talented group of people. And as the governor has said, we can't do it without our partners in the legislature, and we have two of the best right here coming up. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Senator Dave Valesky.
Thank you very much, County Executive, and for the outstanding job that you are doing. I am pleased to be here with all of you today, Governor Cuomo, Commissioner Zemsky, Mr. Parker, and others, for this historic day here in Central New York. Over 400 jobs at this new SORAA LED manufacturing facility. For many years, as the governor has indicated, upstate New York had a vibrant manufacturing community that supported strong middle-class families. But that economy had evolved over the last decade, and in fact longer than that, and it's time that our approach as a government toward that economy evolve as well, and that is what today is yet another example. This emerging high-tech sector has recognized our community's assets and businesses from throughout the world that have begun to set up shop right here in Central New York. This trend is due certainly in large part to Governor Cuomo and Dr. Kay as well. Whether it's working with the legislature or with municipalities, the governor knows that every region of this state has its own unique characteristics, and he has worked to capitalize on those strengths. This strategy is being proven successful right here today before our very eyes, and I am excited to continue working with the governor and other partners to ensure that it continues to work. You know, just one other point. Earlier this year, the legislature provided the governor and Commissioner Zemsky with the legislative authority to do that $1.5 billion upstate revitalization initiative, an innovative proposal that the governor included in his executive budget earlier this year. And the legislature authorized that. And this project could have been an example or an investment where state officials could have said, Central New York, you're preparing your application, put it in the application, we'll see how it fares with other regions of the state. But that didn't happen. Under the governor's leadership, he said, we have an opportunity now. We have an opportunity now to bring SORAA to Central New York. We're going to act on that. We're going to make that investment, make that announcement now so that Central New York continues to move forward to create jobs right here in upstate New York, and that is what today is all about. By the way, when the announcements come in December on the Upstate Revitalization Initiative, we're going to win, right? All right. So, Governor, thank you very, very much for your commitment. Mr. Parker, welcome back. This time I'd like to bring forward my friend and colleague from the State Assembly, Bill Magnarelli. Bill?
Well, thank you, Senator Valesky. And Governor, welcome back to Central New York and Syracuse. It's always good to see you. I love saying that to you. Keep coming back. Syracuse is home to so many tremendous resources with the potential to spur business development. We truly have it all, from the facilities to the workforce. And there is no better place for a company to grow. SORAA is yet another perfect example. And with being on the cutting edge of LED light manufacturing, they are here to stay. The company will not only create hundreds of jobs over the next several years, but will be a part of our community, one that has seen a large amount of success recently after a darker economic period. Thanks to Governor Cuomo's vision for growth, this investment is another step toward our region's success and a great illustration of what can happen when government and private parties work together. We have seen the governor employ this strategy across the state, bringing great news of investment and economic development. Thanks to his leadership, I am confident that we can keep this momentum moving forward. And on my way over here today, I kept thinking of a song that had the words, "Shine a light on me" in it. And I was kind of having that in my head. And Governor, I want to thank you for shining a light on Central New York and Syracuse once again. Thank you very much, Governor. I also just want people to know, I know Mr. Parker alluded to it earlier that he was from the Northeast, but you know, when you talk to a fella and you say, geez, I'm sorry that it's raining outside, and he said, are you kidding? I'm happy to see it raining. I'm from California. It hasn't rained in months and months and months. And he also said that he liked the change of seasons and then went on to talk about lake effect. Now, I'm impressed. So I want to really welcome you here. Welcome to a new neighbor. We wish you all the greatest success. SORAA, we are excited to have you here in Syracuse. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. That wraps up our program. My last point that I'd like to leave you with is I am very excited about what has been going on all across upstate New York and especially here in Central New York. And we have a lot of young people here today, a lot of students. We're talking about the future. It is about them. This film studio is about them. SORAA is about them. SORAA deals with gallium nitride substrates in developing their LEDs. I have no idea what any of that is. That's why it's about the young people who are being trained at SUNY Poly and schools like Lemoyne, et cetera, because this is about your future and this is about your jobs. And we have a lot of people who are working very hard to turn around the economy in upstate New York. But I also believe that at the end of the day, your destiny is decided by the person in the mirror. We make our own future. We make our own destiny. And I understand for a lot of years the news upstate New York was bad. I get that. And I get the negativity. But you can look at a glass and say it's half empty, or you can say it's half full. And yes, upstate New York has suffered in the past, but it is a new day. And it is a different day. And you can't look at this film hub, and you can't look at SORAA, and you can't look at the state fair that we're going to redo with $50 million, and the new amphitheater on the lake, and the rehabilitation in DeWitt, and not say this is a different Syracuse, a different Central New York, and the arrows are pointed in the right direction. And we all need to be on that. That is the truth. Negative begets negative, well, positive begets positive. And the messages and the truth is the glass is half full. And we have a lot of good things going. We now just have to keep it going. And I believe once you have that positive energy going, there's a positive synergy just like there's a negative synergy. And we have to make these pieces synergize and build on this success. And that means all of us together. Government officials, state working with county, working together, private partnerships, colleges, universities, all working on the same goal. We are off to a great start, a really great start, and the future is unlimited. It really is what we make it, and I'm excited about what we can do together. Thank you, and God bless you.